Hello there, I am Maxwell Dziabis, aka HiBob7, or Solim Smash in various places online. My pronouns are he, him. I do a lot of things in Turnabout Musical. What's most relevant for this discussion, though, is I am a cast member of Turnabout Musical Virtual Edition. And today I will be moderating this Turnabout Table Talk Pickups, or whatever we're going to call it. It might have a different title. This little video series is going to be talking to members of the Turnabout Musical community that were not around when we did, or were not available when we did the first set of table talks. And today's interrogative subject is someone to whom who plays all of the characters that we had for our first table talk. And now I'm so glad to get the chance to speak to him in person. So if you would like to introduce yourself, please go right ahead.
Cool, okay, sure. That's me that you're talking about.
It sure is.
My name is Aaron. I also go by Bird, or Aaron Bird, or Ironic Bird, or Aaron Paulus, or any other name that you want to use.
Sure.
And I am he, him. I am 21 and single. I was born in Fayetteville, North Carolina. And yeah, I play YANNI, YOGI, and Larry, and Red White in various forms of the defense and the prosecuting cast of Turnabout Musical Virtual Edition.
Excellent, excellent. Do you have socials or anywhere else people want to find you online?
I do! I have my YouTube channel called Ironic Bird, if you want to check that out. I make music videos on there. I also have my Instagram, which is ironicbird_YouTube, which is my own, but if you want to follow my voice acting account, that's ironicbirdva. I also have a Twitter.
Excellent.
And a LinkedIn.
I'm sure that will all be in the video description, so don't worry about it. Okay, now you've seen the previous table talk, right? So you're familiar with the questions and so on. So we'll just go right into it. Our first question is from Ari, our lovely Turnabout Musical parent, Ari. What is your history with Ace Attorney and or Turnabout Musical? Were you familiar with either of them before you auditioned or were cast?
That is a very good question. I have played the free edition of Turnabout on my phone, and that's all the knowledge I had about it when going into the auditions.
Which is just cases 1 and 2, if I'm correct, right?
Correct.
Of the first game was the only thing available for free.
Which is all I really needed for this, apparently. Yeah. But yeah, and I was told about it through the previous director, and then I was here, and I was like, ooh, yay, all these people, and all these talented people, and like, yeah, I knew very little, but that is a-okay because I am having a good time.
Excellent. Our next question is from Kate, our lovely friend Kate. Are there any elements of your own portrayal of Larry BUTZ, Red White, or YANNI YOGI that were inspired by someone else's take on the role, or if you have other characters or actors or so on that you reference as inspiration when you're crafting your own personal characterization, you can share that. And also, conversely, what differentiates your version of the character from the others? What did you bring to the character, and how did it shape your performance?
That is a very long and in-depth question from Kate. Thank you, Kate. Let's see. For Larry BUTZ, when I was first trying to think about how the character would act, I first looked at the original singer on the soundtrack for It's Gotta Be the BUTZ, and like listening to the voice lines, and I was like, ooh, I like that. And then I took that and adapted it, and I added some like, I'm a big Yu-Gi-Oh fan, so I threw in some from Joey Wheeler in there.
Heck yeah.
And then I combined that with like a little bit of Junkrat from Overwatch. And I was like, that's about right. He's trying to get the ladies, but at the same time, he's a little goofy. So that's what I did for Larry BUTZ.
Awesome. Wow, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
What about Red White?
Oh yes, Red White, CEO of Blue Corp, of course. Yes, yes. As I said earlier, Yu-Gi-Oh! I love Yu-Gi-Oh! So another character that I also love from Yu-Gi-Oh! is
Maximilian Pegasus?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So I just love Yugi Boy, I must say. And that's really what I draw in this character, because he's like so crazy. I mean, I really try to use that as a difference from other red whites that I've seen, is that he's just so loosey-goosey in the head. Like, even, without spoiling it, of course, he loves what he does. He absolutely loves what he does.
Just got the way, what's it called again?
Go-go squeeze. For when you're on the go.
Now that's fascinating. What about the boat shop caretaker character, the YANNI YOGI character?
YANNI YOGI. I haven't heard that name in a long time. A long time.
Now, YANNI YOGI. I had a different version of YANNI in the very beginning of the rehearsals, but then I was shown the live action of the live action
Film
that was made
Right.
with all the like technology that's like
Right.
100 years from now, which is very funny. But I find a lot of my character for him to come from that movie.
It's a very heartbreaking portrayal of YANNI YOGI for sure.
It is, yes. There were aspects of his backstory that are similar to mine, except I didn't kill anybody. As far as you know. And I like to try to hopefully draw into that without going into too much detail about it.
Sure, of course. Our next question is from Richie, our wonderful castmate. For Larry. Throughout the games, we see Larry has a hidden talent for art, and in Turnabout, he has a talent for dancing. How different do you think Larry would be if he had an outlet for these artistic talents?
Now, if I recall, well, my answer for this is very similar to another Larry that I know. My answer is that he already has an outlet for it. He utilizes it. You can see him in I haven't played the other games, but I do know that some of the sprites have him like being an artist, or like he made the Thinker.
He made the Thinker statue,
which was like pretty gnarly, and I was like, yeah. And he had two of them, so he knows his craft. He uses that like within. Now, if he used it a little bit more, then maybe he wouldn't have enough time for all the ladies if he used it a little bit more. But I think he has a very good hobby balance.
Work-life balance, except the work is his dates.
His dates,
with
yes,
girls.
yes.
Excellent. Is there any fun lore or backstory for your version of the character that we might not see in the show? This is a question from Wendy Alice, our castmate.
Well, for starters, Larry is a very big Sonic fan.
Really?
Really, really. He has been watching Sonic ever since it came out. He has seen it both in English and in Japanese.
You're talking about Sonic X, the anime.
All of Sonic. Like, including Sonic X.
Okay.
Do you know that there's more than Sonic X?
No, I do. Because Sonic originated as a video game series, I thought you were referring to, and when you talk about English and Japanese, the only one that was ever produced originally in Japanese was Sonic X, because the other series, Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic the Hedgehog 1983, or TAAAM as it is more commonly referred to, Sonic Underground, and Sonic Boom were all produced by studios out of America or France. So I assumed you meant Sonic X.
I'll cut this part in later. I forgot about the Sonic OVA. That also counts.
That's the cool thing about Larry, is that Larry might not have known that.
Really?
Really. But he's a big fan anyway.
Cool. What's his favorite game in the series?
His favorite game in the series is Sonic 3.
That is a very good answer. I also really like Sonic 3.
Yes. He also really likes Knuckles, but Sonic more.
Good opinions.
Yeah.
Yes. Exactly the right kind of opinions I would have expected from Larry BUTZ.
Of course. Also, another thing that Larry is, that I like to think of, is that he is secretly like, he has all this free time to go on dates because he secretly inherited some sort of wealth, I'd like to think.
Ah, the secret millionaire thing that Koala brought.
Yes, exactly. I hooked onto that and I was like, I thought the same thing. Like, he must have this wealth in order to like be with all these hot chicks.
Right.
I mean, you got chicks going to Paris, from Paris, dying afterwards, and
Hawaii on a floater ship.
Hawaii, and there's probably others from other games that I don't know.
Not ones that are particularly memorable by my standards.
See, he has so many that you don't even remember them.
Exactly.
That's how many. That's how rich he is.
Exactly. Wow, that's so interesting. What about Red White?
Yes, there is. In fact, Red White secretly has a crush.
Oh, really?
But he can't let them know that because he doesn't like being touched. Because not only does he like Marvin Grossberg, he also doesn't like him. And he can't let him know that because, well, he can't, he's trying not to lead him on, but at the same time, he wants to leave subtle hints. So he goes to the office to take his stuff because he likes having his stuff. And he wants to show him that with the weekly meetings in such a way that he enjoys visiting him. But takes his stuff like a bully would pick on like a girl that they like in their class.
I see. Here's a question from Roof Dweller. What's another video game that you think would make a great musical?
I've been working on this one for quite some time.
Yes.
Ace Attorney is not the only visual novel that I've played. My favorite visual novel is Doki Doki Literature Club. So if I had to make a musical about any other game, it would be that one, and I've already started thinking about it. About just how, like, because there's the Oreo made the Just Monica, but I think, but that really just covers the entire game in one song.
Right.
I think it would be more interesting to have like a whole musical about, and have it set into acts just like the game.
Right.
The game is set
It's
into
4
acts.
Yes.
It's easy enough to like, just translate it over.
Uh-huh.
Now, it would get a little tricky with the extra stuff that's in the game.
Yes.
However, I think 2 ways could go around that. Number one, make it look goofy and not like spoopy.
Yes.
Or just go in straight through with it and like see what happens.
And I'm sure you could take a Brechtian approach where you're adapting the meta aspects of the video game to the meta aspects of the theater, right?
Of course.
It's so easy to do that, right?
Everything's about meta these days. So yeah, you can just boop, 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 and there you go.
Like you are an audience watching a play,
Yeah.
and I will make sure that you are aware of that.
Yeah. And Monica is the best girl, so don't you ever say anything different.
Here's a question from Shin. At the risk of being cliche, if you were not playing your current roles, who would you like to play in Turnabout Musical or Ace Attorney in general?
Well, if I had to pick a role, it would be April May.
Oh, I see.
Because, well, I am April May. I have to pick a different answer.
Why are you April May?
I'm April May because I'm April May. Because I may be April May, therefore I am. Now, if I had to pick a character to be from the musical, I would probably go with, ooh, no, couldn't do, no. Richie's got Phoenix. I couldn't touch that.
Well, if you're interested in playing Phoenix, you can say.
No.
I mean,
So many.
it's a fun role, great song.
I like that. Okay. I love the suit.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love suits.
Uh-huh.
I really like, I have a red suit, I have a pink suit, I have a gray suit, and I have a black suit. I don't have a blue suit.
So you just need to complete the
I
collection.
need to complete the collection. So while I'm at it,
And you've already got like a game accurate red. You've got a Winston Payne in there, both like past and present. You've got, I don't know, maybe you could modify the red one for Edgeworth if you got a little jabot or something.
yeah. And I would need a trench coat. I'd have to look into getting a trench coat. But I also really enjoy gumshoe. I really enjoy gumshoe.
Here's another question from Kate to the caretakers. If you could have any other emotional support animal that wasn't a parrot, which one would you choose and why?
I like this question. If I had to pick a support animal, it would have to be my favorite animal, which is the penguin. I have always loved penguins since I was like 4 when I first saw Happy Feet in the movie theater, which might be dating me a little bit. But yeah, I connected with penguins a lot, and I don't know if there's, no, probably in zoos there's penguins, like, in the universe, but I wouldn't say that someone would have a pet penguin, except for Yanni, of course he would.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they don't really talk back, so.
And Misato from Neon Genesis Evangelion,
Yes, that is also
which
true.
is a series I just finished watching for the first time.
I've not seen it
I
yet.
gotta say, the part with the penguin was the somehow the part of the show that made the most sense of all the things that didn't make sense.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
Here's a question from Sail the Marigold. What is your favorite part, or what are your favorite parts of playing the different roles that you play?
I think my favorite part of playing all the different roles is that I can set aside like who I am and like just jump into these fun characters. I can jump into I'm selling pasta and yeah, and then the very next well, not the next scene, but in other scenes I could be meticulously like this super rich like sexy guy. And then in other scenes, I could be Red Wife.
Yes, I was gonna say that's.
And it's a lot of fun to just go hippity hoppity and try to make the characters your own while staying to their roots. And it's yeah, I think that's my favorite part of portraying the characters.
We have one last question that we give to everyone, and I'd like to ask, what does Turnabout Musical mean to you? What has been your favorite part about doing Turnabout Musical or being a part of the community?
I'd have to say it would be the community, like meeting all these different people who are interested in Turnabout and what we're doing it's crazy. I mean, I was looking at the when we were raising money, or when other productions were raising money, just the sheer amount of like love and passion that people were putting in donations, and just like from the actor's side, just all the passion that's being put into all these different characters. It's really enjoyable to meet people with like similar interests, even if it's as absurd as killing people and figuring out who did it. I think that's my favorite part of being part of the community and like diving into it.
So, well, thank you so much for sharing your time and insights today, and sharing your passions and talent in being a part of Turnabout Musical.
Yeah. Would you like some ramen?
We'll eat later, but I
Good
might
man.
take you up on that.
Okay.
Also, hi, I am a person who is a Turnabout Musical. That's my entire life, so it's great to have you as part of the community.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
I'm glad to be here in person to shake your hand.
Yes, you're the first one to shake my hand. Hopefully not the last.
For anyone watching this later, don't forget to follow all of the relevant social media. There's a Turnabout Musical link tree with links to Turnabout Musical's official Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Discord, as well as links to the already available productions, the TAAAM YouTube channel. When we're filming this, TAAAM Act 1 is out, so that's on there as well as the TMVE GoFundMe, which if that's still running by the time that this is out, also go check that out and support this fantastic production that we are both a part of. You can find Gero Productions on their website, geroproductions.card.co, which includes links to their Twitter and Instagram. You can find Nerdification Media, which produce Turnabout Musical Live and TAAAM at nerdification.media, which has links to their Patreon, Twitter, and YouTube. And of course, keep an eye out for Turnabout and Ace Attorney Musical Act 2, unless it's already out, in which case go check it out. And of course, Turnabout Musical Virtual Edition in 2023. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you next time.